Hello, I'm Chuck DeVetter. I'm the pastor of One Whole Heart Ministry, and I'm going to talk to you about a ministry that we've been raising up and been involved with raising up since 2016. That's in the very fledgling stage or the beginning stage, but it has been active since 2016. The name of the ministry is ORMA, Omaha Region Missionary Alliance, and what it's about funding missionaries in this region. Now, most people are familiar with missionaries that are overseas, like in Africa or India or other countries, and there's often funding sources for those missionaries. But what I'm going to tell you is that in our region, there's lots and lots of missionaries. There's lots of people that are trusting God for funding and beginning to walk out and release the call of God. The call of God is just as important here locally and regionally as it is in other countries. But there needs to be a funding source for those missionaries. And so God has placed on our heart a funding source called ORMA. And we're beginning to walk and step out the process of raising that up. And that funding source has envisioned to fund missionaries throughout this region. In funding those missionaries, the thought or the vision is to fund food and shelter and clothing for those missionaries and help them come to a place of just trusting God more and more as God is able to pour out funding and release the kingdom in this region. And so what has happened up till now is ORMA has been active and has been involved with funding missionaries within our ministry or connected to our ministry, One Whole Heart Ministry, as well as Valor Christian Academy. From a housing standpoint, we have had missionaries that have lived out in our Greenwood facility. And when they lived out in our Greenwood facility, they have been active and been doing lots of missionary functions, including teaching, including helping to run the operations of One Whole Heart Ministry, as well as many other things, just in the place of trusting God for funds. Now, we were blessed to not only receive the Greenwood building as a donation, which is in a wonderful large school building, but we also received several thousand collectible items. And so those items have been sold, we sell them on eBay. And as they sell on eBay, then there's funding that comes to ORMA. A third of all the funds that come in have been given to ORMA, and those funds are distributed through our missionaries. We've got a gigantic heart that missionaries need help and they need funding in this region. And so not only are we in a place where we have living facilities at Greenwood, and we have a heart that we're going to have more and more living facilities that missionaries can be funded. Also, we have a gigantic heart for feeding missionaries, and the Lord has brought forth a pantry for missionaries, and we are beginning to use that pantry for that very same purpose, to fund missionaries. The third thing that we've focused a lot on has to do with transportation, and so we have a heart that the Lord would begin to provide transportation for missionaries also. Now, most of what we've done up till this point in time has had to do with the missionaries connected to One Whole Heart Ministry or Valor Christian Academy. A large percentage of the people that are doing ministry, even on a full-time basis with One Whole Heart Ministry, and even with Valor Christian Academy in regards to the teaching and the functionality of teaching all the young people within Valor Christian Academy, the school, do not have a funding source. They're in a place where they're just trusting God for money. No one gets paid salaries. And so what happens is that we have a gigantic heart to be able to fund missionaries in these situations. And not only our missionaries, but we have a vision to partner with corporations and other ministries that have a heart for this also. There are lots and lots of ministries throughout the community that we intend to take on as partners in order to allow funding to come to not only our ministry but other ministries and other movements into the kingdom that God has intended, so that people no longer are in a place where they are bound by trying to serve money and try to pay the bills, but yet they're able to answer the call in their life. And they're able to trust God and walk out and say, I trust you, Lord. And so as long as we're in a place where we have to serve money, what happens is things get twisted. And so we are stepping into this ministry and have been stepping into this ministry, not only for ourselves, but for the missionaries around this city and region. And so this video is just an introduction and an invitation to those ministries and those corporations that want to see the kingdom come forth, want to see missionaries funded, so that those people that are doing the work of the kingdom, those people that are trusting God, those people that are giving their lives for the kingdom, are able to be blessed and funded. Often it's easy to provide funding for people that certainly need funding, where they need food, or they need clothing, or they need transportation to be able to function, and those are very, very valid and important ministries to fund. But what I'm going to tell you about is probably, in my heart, one of the most important is the people that are doing the people that are stepping out and doing the ministry to those folks that need ministry, that need to find Jesus in a deep way, need to have their hearts healed, need to come to the place where ultimately they can become who they're created to become, instead of looking for some type of a gift or survival source to get to the next moment or day, but instead they're in a place where they're releasing the kingdom and they trust God for the survival, and out of that comes blessing. So again, I thank you for listening to this. I thank you for your heart and your vision for funding missionaries. And I'd ask you to consider coming and joining with me alongside of One Whole Heart and Valor Christian Academy and others that have a heart that missionaries could have an initial source of funding to help move them into their calling. And again, thank you very much.